So today I'd like to show you guys a quick review of the Husqvarna roller style chain sharpener. I think this is probably the best sharpener you can buy for the price. It's $12.95 US online, and I think it works great. There's a lot of other tools out there that I see people using, but they get pretty expensive. So this thing for $12.95 usually does the trick for me. I'm going to be using it today on a 20-inch Husqvarna bar, a 3/8 semi-chisel chain, and it just needs a quick sharpening. I'll also be using a 7/32 Echo file. Alright, so I've got my sharpener set up here. It just sits on your chain there. There's only two different ways it goes on. I've got my chainsaw in the vise, and I've got my chain brake on. I'm just going to take this file and run it straight across. All the angles are already figured out for you. You're just going to run that straight across. About 3 times on each one should do it for me. For this one, it's not very dull. And also, you should make sure to mark that so you don't sharpen it twice. So I'm going to do that with a Sharpie. And I'm going to do a little time-lapse video here of me sharpening this, and then I'll talk about the depth guides and how the tool works for that. Alright, so that's one side complete. So now I'm going to flip around the saw, do the exact same thing on the other side. So as I was filing that, I was kind of thinking, what exactly is the benefit of this tool? Versus something like one of these, which holds the file. And, I was thinking, well, this has got your angles all figured out for you. No need worrying about that. This has got a little angle finder on it, so you'd have to hold it at that angle there and reset it each time. I also found that these on the bottom are not very strong, or this one in particular. So when you're cutting with it, your file tends to go out of place and not exactly where you want it to go. It's hard to explain without doing it, but basically that's what happens is the file comes out of this guide. One more thing I guess about this is that you can definitely see your cut. As you're cutting it, you can see the top cutter and you can see exactly what you're doing to that top cutter. Whereas with this thing here, you're kind of just guessing at what you're actually doing to that cutter. And I guess when you think about some more expensive tools, well, if you go out and buy an electric grinder, it's going to run you about $200 Canadian, I guess. And it's not necessary if you only have one chainsaw, 1 or 2 chainsaws, I guess, or 5 or 6 chains. This thing really is all you need to do that. And yeah, so on to the depth guides now. Okay, so this tool has got a handy little plate on here that will help you file your depth guides. Now, the directions were not very clear on how to use this, but here's my interpretation of how to use it. It's labeled hardwood and softwood, and you're just going to place it on the cutter that is on the side that you're working on. So it's only going to fit down properly on this side. And see how that fits there? So anything that sticks out above that, you're going to file. Now if I try and do the other side, which would be up here, it's not going to line up right, and you're going to wonder how the heck that thing goes on there. It's just not going to line up with anything. So you have to do all of this side first, and then flip it around and do the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and file those, and after that we're going to do a video of how it cuts.